Have you ever felt like you're capable of more, but somehow your life keeps staying the same? You wake up, you scroll your phone. You promise yourself that tomorrow you'll start chasing your dreams. But tomorrow keeps becoming next week, next month, next year. And one day you wake up and realize you're living a life you never planned. But today, that ends. Because in the next few minutes, you're going to understand the one thing that separates people who stay stuck from the people who change their lives forever. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't want to hear. Your life is the result of the decisions you make every single day. Not luck, not talent, not where you were born. Your daily choices. The problem is, most people live their lives on autopilot. They react instead of act. They wait instead of build. They complain instead of improve. And slowly, their dreams fade away. Not because they couldn't achieve them, but because they never committed to becoming the person who could. Successful people aren't superhuman. They feel fear. They doubt themselves. They fail. But they do something most people refuse to do. They act anyway. While others are waiting for the perfect moment, they move. While others are afraid of failing, they learn. While others quit after one mistake, they try again, over and over and over again, because they understand something powerful. Success isn't about never falling, it's about refusing to stay down. Most people think success comes from one big moment, one big opportunity, one lucky break. But that's not how life works. Your future is built through small decisions repeated daily. Choosing discipline over comfort. Choosing growth over excuses. Choosing progress even when you don't feel like it. Every workout. Every late night of learning. Every time you push yourself when quitting feels easier. Those moments shape your destiny. The biggest enemy you'll ever face isn't the world. It's the voice inside your head. The voice that whispers, "You're not good enough. You're too late. You're not talented. Other people are better than you." But here's what most people don't realize. That voice isn't the truth. It's fear. And fear only has power when you believe it. The moment you start challenging it, the moment you start acting despite it, you begin taking control of your life. There comes a moment in everyone's life when they must make a decision. A real decision. Not a wish, not a dream, a commitment. The moment you decide, no more excuses, no more waiting, no more blaming circumstances. This is the moment you take responsibility for your future. And when that moment happens, everything changes. Imagine your life 5 years from now. If you keep doing exactly what you're doing today, where will you be? Still dreaming? Still waiting? Still wishing things were different? Now imagine something else. Imagine waking up every day knowing you're building something meaningful, knowing you're becoming stronger, smarter, more disciplined, more unstoppable. That future starts with a single decision, the decision you make today. Remember this, the world doesn't reward potential, it rewards action. Not the smartest, not the most talented, but the most consistent. The ones who refuse to quit. The ones who keep going when everyone else stops. So if you're watching this right now, take this as your sign, your moment, your wake-up call. Stop waiting. Stop doubting. Stop living small. Because the life you want is waiting on the other side of one decision. The decision to start right now. Your future is created by what you do today.
What if the biggest thing destroying your future is what you're doing every single day? Not your enemies, not your past, not bad luck, but the small decisions you make when nobody is watching. Because the brutal truth about life is this: most people don't lose their dreams overnight. They lose them slowly, through comfort, procrastination, and excuses. And by the time they realize it, years are already gone. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning. You check your phone for just a few minutes. 30 minutes pass, then an hour. You promise yourself you'll start working soon. But somehow, the day keeps slipping away. Scrolling, watching, waiting. And tomorrow becomes the day you'll finally start. But tomorrow never comes. Days turn into months, months turn into years. And slowly, without even realizing it, you're wasting the one thing you'll never get back: your time. The comfort zone is a beautiful prison. Comfort feels safe. Comfort feels good. But comfort is also one of the most dangerous traps in life, because comfort slowly kills ambition. When you're comfortable, you stop pushing yourself. You stop dreaming bigger. You stop trying new things. You stop risking failure. And that's exactly how people wake up 10 years later wondering, what happened to my life? They didn't fail dramatically. They simply stayed comfortable for too long. Here is the truth that changes everything. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your family, not the government, not luck. And when you first hear that, it might feel harsh, but it's actually the most empowering realization you can have. Because the moment you stop waiting for someone to rescue you, you take control of your life. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop making excuses. You start building. Motivation feels amazing, but motivation is temporary. Some days you feel unstoppable. Other days you feel tired, lazy, and unmotivated. That's normal. But discipline is different. Discipline means showing up even when you don't feel like it. Working when it's uncomfortable. Practicing when you're tired. Learning when it's hard. Successful people aren't always motivated. They're simply disciplined enough to keep going. Everyone wants success. Everyone wants money, freedom, respect. But very few people want the price that comes with it. Because success requires sacrifice. Late nights, lonely mornings, moments where nobody believes in you, moments where you question everything. The truth is, the path to success is often quiet and lonely. And that's why most people quit. Most people don't destroy their future with one big mistake. They destroy it with small habits repeated daily. Scrolling social media for hours, avoiding difficult work, surrounding themselves with negative thinking, procrastinating on important goals. Every small habit is like a vote for the person you are becoming. And over time, those votes shape your destiny. Something powerful happens when you stop fearing failure. You become dangerous. Because fear is what keeps most people small. Fear of embarrassment, fear of judgment, fear of trying and failing. But the moment you accept that failure is part of growth, you unlock a new level of freedom. You start taking risks. You start chasing bigger goals. You start living instead of hiding. Feeling lost is not the end. Many people watching this right now might feel lost, confused, unsure about their future. But feeling lost isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes feeling lost means you're outgrowing the life you once had. It's the beginning of transformation. Every successful person you admire once felt lost too. The difference is, they didn't stay lost. They kept moving forward until they found their path. There are two types of pain in life: the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. The pain of discipline is temporary. Waking up early, working hard, pushing yourself beyond comfort. But the pain of regret lasts forever. Regret whispers the same haunting question: what if I had tried? And that question can follow someone for the rest of their life. Final message: work in silence. The most powerful move you can make in life is working in silence. Stop announcing your goals. Stop explaining your plans. Stop waiting for approval. Just focus. Build quietly. Improve every day. And one day, your results will make all the noise.
powerful ending. Right now, somewhere in the world, someone with less talent than you is working harder than you. Someone with fewer opportunities is refusing to quit. Someone with more problems than you is still chasing their dreams. So the real question isn't whether success is possible. The real question is this: what are you going to do with the time you have left? Because your future is not decided by your past. Your future is decided by what you choose to do starting today. If this message woke something up inside you, subscribe to Mind Food Channel, because this is where we build stronger minds. And remember, your life will change the moment you stop waiting and start moving.
Every day, an invisible clock is ticking above your head. You can't hear it, you can't stop it, and you don't know when it will reach zero. But the clock is real. Some people waste their time like it's unlimited. They say things like, "I'll start next year. I'll change when the time is right. I still have plenty of time." But the truth is, the people who succeed understand something different. They know time is not waiting for them, so they move now. While others hesitate, they build. While others sleep, they grow. And years later, when people ask them how they became successful, the answer is simple: they respected the clock. Right now, two versions of you exist. The first version is comfortable. This version sleeps in, avoids challenges, procrastinates, chooses entertainment over growth. But there's another version of you, a stronger version, a disciplined version, the version that wakes up early, the version that keeps going when things get hard, the version that refuses to quit. The scary truth is this: your future depends on which version you feed every day, because one version builds your dream, and the other slowly destroys it. Imagine looking into a mirror, but instead of showing your reflection today, it shows your life 5 years from now. If you keep doing exactly what you're doing today, what would you see? Would you see growth, confidence, success? Or would you see regret, unfinished dreams, missed opportunities? The future you see in that mirror is not random. It is built by the small choices you make today. The lonely road to greatness. The road to greatness is not crowded. In fact, most of the time it's lonely. While others are partying, you're working. While others are sleeping, you're studying. While others are complaining, you're improving. At first, people may laugh at you. They may doubt you. They may question your choices. But one day, those same people will look at your life and say, "You're lucky," not realizing the lonely road you walked to get there. The invisible enemy. Most people think their biggest enemy is failure. But failure isn't the real enemy. The real enemy is comfort. Comfort whispers things like, "You deserve a break. Start tomorrow. You've already done enough." And little by little, comfort steals your ambition, your hunger, your potential. The most dangerous thing about comfort is this: it doesn't destroy you instantly. It destroys you slowly. One day, you might meet an old man, and that old man might be you. He will sit quietly and think about his life. And in that moment, he will remember every dream he once had, the business he wanted to start, the life he wanted to build, the risks he was too afraid to take. The question is, when that moment comes, will that old man be proud of you or disappointed? Because the decisions you make today are writing that story. The loudest people are rarely the most successful, because truly powerful people understand something important. They move in silence. They don't announce every goal. They don't explain every plan. They don't chase attention. They focus. They work. They improve. And one day, their results speak so loudly that no explanation is needed. There is always one day that changes a person's life. One moment when they decide, no more excuses, no more waiting, no more fear. The moment someone takes full responsibility for their life, everything shifts. Because the moment you stop blaming the world, you start building your future. Pain can destroy people, but it can also build warriors. Every setback, every failure, every disappointment,
They are not signs to quit. They are lessons. The strongest people in the world were not born strong. They became strong by surviving difficult moments. At the end of your life, there will be one question that matters. Not how much money you made, not how many people liked you, but this: did you become the best version of yourself? Or did fear convince you to live smaller than you were meant to? Because deep down, you already know the answer to what you must do.
What if the pain you're avoiding is actually the thing that could make you unstoppable? Most people run from pain, but the strongest people in the world, they chase it. There was a moment when everything felt impossible. The body was tired, the mind was screaming to quit. Every step forward felt heavier than the last. But something powerful happened in that moment. A realization. Pain was not the enemy. Pain was the test. Every drop of sweat, every burning muscle, every voice saying, "Quit now," was actually building a stronger version of myself. Because the moment you push past pain, you discover a level of strength you never knew existed. Ending line. Pain doesn't break warriors, it reveals them. What happens when nobody believes in you? No support, no encouragement, just doubt. For most people, that's the end. But for some, that's where the story begins. There was a time when everyone said it was impossible. Too weak, too slow, too late, too unrealistic. But something about being underestimated changes a person. It builds fire. Every rejection became fuel. Every insult became motivation. Every doubt became a challenge. And slowly, step by step, the impossible started becoming reality. Ending line. Sometimes the greatest advantage you can have is being the person nobody believed in. There's a test most people fail every single day. Not a school test, not a job interview, a test in the mirror. Every morning, the mirror asks one question: are you becoming stronger or weaker? Are you building your future or escaping from it? Because the mirror doesn't care about excuses. It only reflects the truth. And the truth is simple. The life you want is built by the habits you repeat every day. Ending line. The mirror never lies. The only question is whether you're brave enough to face it. The most dangerous place in the world is not failure, it's comfort. Comfort feels safe. Comfort feels relaxing. Comfort feels easy. But comfort slowly steals your dreams. When life becomes too comfortable, ambition disappears, growth stops, and before you realize it, years have passed. The people who change their lives understand something different. Growth only lives outside the comfort zone. Ending line. Your dreams are not hiding in comfort. They're waiting on the other side of fear. Somewhere in the world, at 4 a.m., someone is already working on the life you want. While most people are still asleep, a small group of people are awake, training, studying, building, improving, not because it's easy, but because they understand something powerful. The early hours belong to the disciplined. Every extra hour of effort becomes an advantage. Over weeks, over months, over years. Those hours create greatness. Ending line. Success is often decided long before the world wakes up. 6. The war inside your mind. The biggest battle you will ever fight is not in the world, it's inside your mind. Inside every person lives two voices. One voice says, "You're tired, stop. You're not ready. You'll probably fail." But the other voice says, "Keep going, push harder, don't quit." The direction of your life depends on which voice you listen to. Ending line. The mind is a battlefield, and discipline is the weapon. Excuses are extremely powerful. They can destroy an entire lifetime of potential. People say, "I don't have time.
I don't have resources. I don't have the right opportunities. But history proves something different. Many of the most successful people started with nothing. No money, no connections, no guarantees. The difference wasn't luck, it was responsibility. They stopped blaming the world and started building their future. Ending line. Excuses build prisons. Responsibility builds freedom. Being the underdog is not a weakness, it's a weapon. When nobody expects you to win, you are free. Free from pressure, free from expectations, free to work harder than everyone else. While others rely on talent, you rely on discipline. While others rely on confidence, you rely on effort. And over time, hard work beats talent every single time. Ending line. Underdogs don't need permission to win. Everyone wants greatness, but very few people are willing to pay the price. Greatness demands something from you. Sacrifice, focus, loneliness. There will be days when progress feels invisible, days when nobody supports you, days when quitting feels easy. But those who keep going eventually reach a place others only dream about. Ending line. Greatness is expensive, but regret costs even more. One day you will wake up and realize time moved faster than you expected. Dreams you once had will still be waiting. Goals you once planned may still be unfinished. And in that moment, you will ask yourself one powerful question. Did I truly try? Or did fear convince me to live smaller than I could? Ending line. The best time to change your life was yesterday. The second best time is right now.
What if the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the story you keep telling yourself? Not your past, not your problems, not the world, but the excuses you repeat every single day. Because the brutal truth is this: most people don't fail because life is hard. They fail because they quit when life gets hard. Look around. Most people are stuck in the same routine. Wake up, scroll their phone, go through the day half awake, dream about a better life, but never really chase it. They say things like, "I'll start tomorrow. I just need the right opportunity. I'll change when things get easier." But tomorrow turns into next week. Next week becomes next year. And slowly, without realizing it, life passes by. Dreams fade, potential disappears. Not because people couldn't succeed, but because they never pushed themselves hard enough to find out. Let me tell you a story. There was a moment in someone's life when everything felt impossible. No confidence, no direction, no belief. Everywhere they looked, people seemed ahead. Stronger, smarter, more successful. And every day that voice in their head whispered, "You're not good enough. You started too late. You're not built for this." For a long time, they believed that voice. They stayed comfortable, avoided challenges, made excuses. But one day something happened. Something small. They looked in the mirror, and for the first time in their life, they asked themselves an honest question. What if the problem isn't the world? What if the problem is me? That moment was painful, but it was also powerful. Because the moment someone stops lying to themselves, their life begins to change. That day, everything shifted. No more blaming circumstances. No more waiting for motivation. No more hoping life would magically improve. Instead, one decision was made. A decision to become harder than the excuses. To wake up earlier. To push further. To do the uncomfortable work most people avoid. And slowly, things began to change. Confidence started growing. Discipline starting building. Strength starting forming. Not overnight. Not instantly. But step by step. Day by day. Because success is not one big moment. It's thousands of small victories stacked together. Here is the lesson most people never learn. Your mind will always try to protect you from discomfort. It will tell you to quit, to slow down, to stay safe. But growth lives on the other side of discomfort. Every time you push yourself when it's hard, you become stronger. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you build discipline. Every time you refuse to quit, you separate yourself from the crowd. The people who change their lives aren't special. They simply refuse to stay weak. They train their mind like a muscle. They embrace struggle. They choose progress over comfort. And over time, that mindset creates unstoppable people. Imagine two versions of yourself. One version chooses comfort every day, avoids risk, avoids pain, avoids effort. That version stays safe, but that version also stays stuck. Now imagine another version of you. This version wakes up earlier, works harder, pushes through fear, keeps going even when it's painful. That version grows stronger every single day. 5 years from now, those two versions will live completely different lives. The scary part is this: both versions are being created right now by the choices you make today. One day you will look back on your life, and in that moment, you will realize something important. Life was never about luck. It was never about talent. It was about courage. The courage to push yourself. The courage to keep going. The courage to become stronger than your excuses. So the real question isn't whether success is possible for you. The real question is this: are you willing to become the person who earns it? Because the moment you stop waiting, the moment you stop hiding, the moment you stop making excuses, that is the moment your real life begins. So start today. Push harder, work longer, become stronger, and one day, the world will look at your life and say, that person is unstoppable.
What if the biggest reason your life hasn't changed is you? Not your past, not your environment, not your luck, but the comfort you refuse to leave. Every day people wake up with dreams, but instead of chasing them, they scroll. Instead of building, they wait. Instead of growing, they stay comfortable. And comfort slowly becomes a prison. Not a loud prison, a quiet one. A prison where dreams slowly fade. Mindset shift. The moment you accept responsibility for your life, everything changes. Because the brutal truth is this: the life you want is waiting on the other side of discipline. Feeling lost might be the most important moment of your life. Every person who achieved something meaningful once felt confused. They questioned their path, they doubted their direction. But being lost is not failure. It is a sign that the old version of you is no longer enough. Mindset shift. Sometimes life breaks your direction, so you can discover your purpose. The people who find themselves are the ones who refuse to stop searching. The difference between average people and the top 1% isn't talent, it's mindset. Most people only work hard when they feel motivated, but the top 1%, they work even when they don't feel like it. They show up when it's uncomfortable. They stay disciplined when others quit. Mindset shift. Success is not built on motivation. It's built on consistency. Because there comes a moment in life when you realize something powerful. Nobody is coming to save you. At first, that truth feels heavy, but then something changes. You stop waiting. You stop blaming. You stop making excuses. And suddenly you take control of your life. Mindset shift. Responsibility is not a burden. It is freedom. The moment you stop waiting for rescue, you become your own hero. Average is comfortable, but average is also a trap. Average people do just enough effort, just enough discipline, just enough ambition. But extraordinary lives require extraordinary effort. Mindset shift. If you want a different life, you must become a different person. Because the world rewards those who refuse to settle. Success has a dark side that nobody talks about. Behind every successful person is sacrifice, lonely nights, difficult mornings, moments of doubt, moments of pain. But that struggle is the price of greatness. Mindset shift. Success is not comfortable. Success is earned. And the people who accept that price become unstoppable. Imagine your future self watching you right now. Story. Watching the choices you make today. Watching whether you chase your dreams or ignore them. Watching whether you build discipline or waste time. Mindset shift.
The life you will live tomorrow is being built today. So make your future self proud. Every second you spend scrolling, your life is moving forward without you. Time is the one resource you can never recover. Money can return, opportunities can return, but time never comes back. Mindset shift. The most successful people protect their time fiercely, because the future belongs to those who start today. The loudest people are rarely the most successful. Truly powerful people move quietly. They don't announce every plan. They don't explain every dream. They simply work, day after day, year after year, until their results speak louder than words. Mindset shift. Silence builds focus. Focus builds success. Let your results make the noise. Your life in this year will be shaped by the decisions you make today. Every year, people promise change, new goals, new habits, new dreams. But most people return to old patterns. The people who truly change their lives do something different. They commit. Mindset shift. Transformation begins with one decision.
Sometimes the strongest move you can make is not fighting harder, not proving a point, not forcing something to work. Sometimes the real power is stepping away, walking away from the noise, from the pressure, from the things that slowly drain your soul. Because distance has a strange way of revealing the truth. And sometimes the only way to move forward in life is to step back first. In life, we are taught something from a very young age. Never quit, never walk away, always keep pushing. And while persistence is powerful, there is a dangerous misunderstanding hidden inside that message. Because not everything in life deserves your energy. Not every battle deserves your time. Not every situation deserves your presence. But many people stay anyway. They stay in environments that suffocate their growth. They stay in relationships that drain their spirit. They stay in routines that slowly steal their dreams. Not because they want to, but because they are afraid. Afraid that stepping away means failure. Afraid that walking away means weakness. Afraid that letting go means losing. But sometimes, the real loss is staying too long. Imagine someone standing in the middle of chaos. Their mind is constantly racing, decisions piling up, expectations from everyone around them, pressure to perform, pressure to succeed, pressure to keep going no matter what. And slowly, their thoughts begin to blur. They stop thinking clearly. They stop seeing opportunities. They stop hearing their own inner voice, because the world is simply too loud. Now imagine something different. One day, they do something unexpected. They step away. They take distance from the noise. They disconnect from the constant pressure. And suddenly, something powerful begins to happen. Clarity. The mind begins to breathe again. Ideas return. Perspective returns. Energy returns. Because sometimes the mind does not need more effort. It needs space. Distance has a strange power. When you step away from something, you finally see it clearly. You begin to notice things you ignored before. The conversations that felt forced. The goals that were never truly yours. The expectations you carried for other people. Distance removes the emotional fog. It shows you what truly matters, and more importantly, what doesn't. Many people spend years trying to fix situations that were never meant for them. But the moment they step away, they realize something powerful. Peace was never the problem. Staying was. The world often celebrates those who fight endlessly, but rarely does it celebrate those who know when to stop fighting. Walking away is not giving up. It is choosing yourself. It is protecting your energy. It is recognizing when something no longer aligns with the person you are becoming. Some battles are meant to teach you, not trap you. And the strongest people in life understand this. They do not waste years proving their worth to the wrong situations. They simply walk away and build something better. When you step away from the noise, you begin to rediscover something important: yourself. the quiet moments become powerful. You start asking deeper questions. What do I truly want? What kind of life do I want to build? Who do I want to become? These questions rarely appear in chaos. They appear in silence. Because clarity grows in stillness, not in noise. And sometimes stepping away from the world is the only way to reconnect with your true direction. Moments where you pause, reflect, realign. And stepping away creates those resets. It allows you to step outside the cycle of constant pressure. It allows you to rebuild your strength, your focus, your purpose. Because the strongest people are not the ones who run endlessly. They are the ones who know when to stop so they can run farther later. Many people wait too long to step away. They wait until exhaustion, until burnout, until their passion disappears, until they feel completely lost. But the truth is, you don't have to reach that point. You can choose distance before destruction. You can choose peace before chaos consumes you. You can choose clarity before confusion takes over. And that decision can change everything. Final message. If you feel overwhelmed, if you feel stuck, if your mind feels heavy and your direction feels unclear, maybe the answer is not pushing harder. Maybe the answer is stepping away, taking time to breathe, taking time to think, taking time to rediscover what truly matters. Because sometimes the greatest breakthroughs in life do not happen in the middle of chaos. They happen in the quiet moments when you finally give yourself permission to step back. Powerful closing line. Remember,
One of the most powerful things you can say in life is this: I might be wrong. But most people will never say it, not because they know everything, but because their pride refuses to learn anything new. The truth is simple. You don't know everything, and neither does anyone else. But the people who grow the most in life understand one powerful secret. The ability to be teachable can change everything. We live in a world where everyone wants to appear confident. Everyone wants to appear intelligent. Everyone wants to appear like they have the answers. But confidence without humility becomes arrogance, and arrogance is dangerous. Because the moment you believe you know everything, your growth stops. Think about it. How can someone learn something new if they believe they already know it? How can someone grow if they refuse to listen? The most dangerous mindset in the world is not ignorance. It is the belief that you already know enough. Because ignorance can be corrected, but pride blocks the door to learning. Some of the smartest people in the world share one powerful habit. They remain students. No matter how successful they become, no matter how much experience they gain, they stay curious, they stay open, they stay teachable. Because they understand something most people miss. Learning is not a phase of life. It is a lifelong process. Every conversation can teach you something. Every mistake can teach you something. Every challenge can teach you something. But only if your mind is open enough to receive the lesson. Humility is often misunderstood. People think humility means weakness, but humility is actually strength. It takes strength to admit when you're wrong. It takes strength to listen instead of arguing. It takes strength to accept correction. Weak people defend their ego. Strong people develop their mind. The strongest individuals in the world are not the ones who pretend to know everything. They are the ones who constantly seek wisdom. Every experience carries a lesson. Sometimes the lesson comes through success. Sometimes the lesson comes through failure. Sometimes the lesson comes through people who challenge your thinking. But the lesson is always there. The question is simple. Are you willing to learn it? Many people repeat the same mistakes for years, not because life isn't teaching them, but because they refuse to listen. The moment you become teachable, everything changes. Ego can be one of the biggest obstacles to personal growth. Ego tells you, you already know that. You don't need advice. Don't listen to them. But ego doesn't build wisdom. It builds walls. Walls that block knowledge, walls that block opportunity, walls that block growth. And slowly those walls turn into limitations. The truth is this: your future will always be limited by what you're unwilling to learn. One of the most powerful mindsets you can develop is this: you can learn something from anyone.
From a mentor, from a stranger, from someone younger than you, from someone who disagrees with you. Wisdom does not belong to one group of people. It appears in unexpected places, but you must be humble enough to recognize it. Some of the greatest life lessons come from the most unexpected conversations. Being teachable also means being willing to change. Sometimes new knowledge challenges your beliefs. Sometimes it forces you to rethink things you once felt certain about. That can feel uncomfortable, but growth always lives outside comfort. Every great transformation begins with one simple realization: I still have more to learn. That realization opens the door to new possibilities, new ideas, new opportunities, and a better version of yourself. Final message. Imagine living your life with the mindset of a student, always learning, always improving, always growing. That mindset will take you further than talent alone ever could. Because the world is constantly changing, and the people who succeed are the ones who continue adapting, continue listening, continue learning. The moment you stop learning, you stop evolving. Powerful closing line. So remember this. You don't have to know everything to succeed in life, but you must always be willing to learn. Because the most powerful words a person can say are not, I know, but instead, teach me. And the moment you adopt that mindset, your growth becomes unstoppable.
One of the hardest truths you will ever accept in life is this: people come and people go. Some people walk into your life and change everything, and some people walk away without warning. But the real lesson is not about who left. The real lesson is about who you become after they do. Because when people leave, you discover something powerful. Your life was never meant to depend on them. When we are young, we believe the people around us will always stay. Friends, relationships, connections. We think the bonds we build will last forever. But life has a different plan. People grow. People change. People move in different directions. And sometimes, the same people who once meant everything to you become strangers. At first, that reality can feel painful. It can feel confusing. You may ask yourself questions like, why did they leave? What did I do wrong? Why didn't things work out? But as time passes, you begin to understand something deeper. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life forever. Some people enter your life for a reason. Others enter your life for a season. And a few stay for a lifetime. But most people are not permanent chapters. They are lessons. Some teach you what love feels like. Some teach you what betrayal feels like. Some teach you how strong you really are. And some teach you the importance of protecting your peace. Every person who enters your life brings a lesson. But once the lesson is learned, their role in your story may end. And that is okay. One of the biggest mistakes people make is losing themselves trying to keep others. They sacrifice their happiness. They ignore their goals. They change who they are just to please someone else. They give everything: their time, their energy, their attention, hoping the person will stay. But here is the truth most people learn too late. If someone truly belongs in your life, you won't have to lose yourself to keep them. The moment you abandon your own growth for someone else, you begin losing the most important relationship in your life, the relationship with yourself. There comes a moment in life when everything shifts. A moment when you stop chasing people. A moment when you stop begging for attention. A moment when you stop proving your worth. And instead, you start focusing on yourself, your growth, your mindset, your goals, your purpose, and something incredible happens. The more you focus on building yourself, the less power other people's opinions have over your life. You become stronger, more confident, more independent, and suddenly, you no longer fear people leaving. Growth changes your circle. As you grow, your circle will change. Some people will not understand your new mindset. Some people will feel uncomfortable with your ambition. Some people will disappear when you stop living for their approval. But that is part of growth. Because not everyone is meant to walk the same path as you. The higher you climb in life,
the fewer people will truly understand your journey. And that is okay. Your purpose is not to keep everyone comfortable. Your purpose is to become the best version of yourself. Building a life that doesn't depend on others staying. The strongest people in life build something powerful. They build a life that doesn't depend on others staying. They build inner strength, self-respect, discipline, purpose. So when someone leaves, they do not collapse. They continue moving forward. Not because they don't care, but because their identity is not built around someone else's presence. True strength is not about never losing people. True strength is about never losing yourself.
One of the most powerful forces in the world is not money. It is not talent. It is not luck. It is belief. Because the moment you truly believe in yourself, your entire life begins to change. But the hardest part about believing in yourself is this: sometimes you must believe in yourself when no one else does. The world will doubt you. At some point in life, everyone experiences doubt. People question your dreams. They question your abilities. They question whether you are capable of achieving something great. Sometimes the doubt is loud. Sometimes it comes through criticism. Sometimes it comes through silence. But the most dangerous doubt is not the doubt from others. It is the doubt that grows inside your own mind. The voice that whispers, "You're not good enough. You're not ready. You'll probably fail." And if you listen to that voice long enough, it begins to control your life. Every successful person started with belief. Every great achievement in history started with one thing: someone believing in themselves. Before the success, before the recognition, before the results, there was belief. The world often celebrates success after it happens, but the most important moment happens long before anyone sees it. The moment someone decides, "I will not give up on myself," even when the path is unclear, even when the results are slow, even when people doubt them. That belief becomes the foundation of everything. The power of inner confidence. Believing in yourself does not mean life becomes easy. You will still face obstacles. You will still face rejection. You will still face moments where things feel impossible. But belief changes how you respond. Instead of quitting, you try again. Instead of giving up, you learn. Instead of shrinking back, you push forward. Belief transforms failure into lessons. It transforms fear into courage. And it transforms ordinary people into extraordinary ones. Stop waiting for validation. One of the biggest traps people fall into is waiting for validation. They wait for approval. They wait for encouragement. They wait for someone else to tell them they are capable. But the truth is this: the world may not believe in you at first, and that's okay, because your belief does not have to come from the world. It must come from within. The strongest people in life are not the ones who receive constant praise. They are the ones who keep going even when nobody is watching, even when nobody is clapping, even when nobody understands their vision. Belief creates action. Believing in yourself is not just a feeling. It is a decision that leads to action. When you believe in your potential, you begin taking steps toward your goals. You begin working harder. You begin learning more. You begin pushing past your limits. And slowly, the person you once imagined becoming starts turning into reality. But none of that begins without belief, because belief is the spark that starts the fire. The future version of you. Imagine meeting the future version of yourself, the version of you that succeeded, the version of you that overcame every obstacle, the version of you that refused to quit. What would that version of you say today? It would probably say something simple: "Thank you for believing in me when things were hard." Because the future you are building depends on the choices you make right now. And the most powerful choice you can make today is refusing to give up on yourself. Final message: life will challenge you. People will doubt you. There will be moments where progress feels invisible. But remember this: every great story begins with someone who refused to stop believing. Someone who kept moving forward despite fear. Someone who kept trying despite failure. And that person can be you. Powerful closing line. So believe in yourself. Believe in your growth. Believe in your ability to become something greater. Because once you master that belief, there is nothing in this world powerful enough to stop you. And the life you once dreamed about will slowly become the life you are living. One of the most important decisions you will ever make in your life is not where you live. It is not what job you take. It is not even how much money you make. The most important decision is this: who you spend your time with. Because the people around you will either expand your mind or slowly shrink your dreams. The invisible influence. Many people underestimate the power of their environment. They believe their success depends only on talent or hard work, but the truth is deeper than that. The people around you shape your mindset. They shape the way you think. They shape what you believe is possible. Spend enough time around people who complain, and complaining becomes normal. Spend enough time around people who avoid risks, and fear becomes normal. Spend enough time around people who think small, and suddenly your dreams start shrinking too. Not because you wanted them to, but because influence is powerful. And most of the time, it happens quietly. The difference inspiring people make. Now imagine something different. Imagine surrounding yourself with people who dream bigger, people who challenge you to grow, people who talk about ideas instead of gossip, people who focus on solutions instead of excuses. Suddenly, something inside you changes. You begin thinking differently. Your goals become bigger. Your standards become higher. Your energy becomes stronger. Because inspiration is contagious. When you are around people who are building something meaningful, you start believing that you can build something meaningful too. The power of expanding your mind. Great conversations change lives. Not shallow conversations, not endless talk about problems, but deep conversations. Conversations about growth, purpose, ideas, vision. The right people will ask you powerful questions. Questions like, what are you truly capable of? What kind of life do you want to build? What is stopping you from chasing your dreams? Those questions stretch your mind. They force you to think beyond your current limits. And sometimes, one powerful conversation can change the direction of your entire life. Why some people resist growth. Not everyone will support your desire to grow. Some people prefer comfort. Some people prefer routine. Some people feel threatened when others begin to think bigger. When you start changing your mindset, some people may say things like, "Why are you dreaming so big? Be realistic. That's too difficult." But those words often come from fear. Fear of stepping outside the familiar. Fear of challenging their own limits. And if you're not careful, those fears can start becoming your limits too. Choosing the right circle. One of the most powerful things you can do in life is intentionally choose your circle. Choose people who inspire you. Choose people who encourage growth. Choose people who push you to become stronger. That does not mean abandoning everyone who thinks differently, but it does mean protecting your mindset, because your mindset is the foundation of your future. The people you listen to today will influence the life you build tomorrow. Become the person who inspires others. There is another important truth. Inspiring people are not perfect. They simply choose growth. They choose discipline. They choose to chase meaningful goals. And you can become that kind of person too. Someone who encourages others to dream bigger. Someone who lifts people higher. Someone who challenges others to grow. Because inspiration is not limited to a few special individuals. It is a mindset anyone can adopt. Final message. Life is too short to spend it surrounded by small thinking. Too short to live inside limitations created by fear. Too short to ignore your potential. You deserve to be around people who remind you how powerful your dreams can be. People who expand your vision. People who challenge your limits. People who make you believe that greatness is possible. Because when the right minds come together, extraordinary things happen. Powerful closing line. So spend more time with people who inspire you to think bigger. People who remind you that your potential is far greater than you realize. Because the right environment doesn't just change your mindset, it changes your entire future. And the moment you surround yourself with people who believe in growth, you will begin becoming the person you were meant to be.
If you find this video interesting, hit that subscribe button for more motivational video from Mind Food. Comment wisdom, smash that like, and share this video to inspire someone today. And always remember, your future isn't waiting. It's being built by what you do right now.